The channel is quite simply, there's no other way to put it, under attack. I suppose in a way you could see it coming, because they are, after all, highly litigious, don't appreciate criticism in any way, shape or form. So what you're essentially doing is saying, please don't criticize us. And I'm sorry, you don't get to make that request, legally or otherwise.
You'll never guess who changed their minds. So here's what happened. A couple weeks ago, I made a video about a YouTuber, Lloyd Evans, who's a former Jehovah's Witness activist, and he fell under some heat because of some drama that was revealed by a former coworker of his. He admitted to a bunch of it on a live stream, denied some other things, so I made a little video basically trying to process my own feelings about the matter, going through all of the true things that had been admitted to or were proven, and delineating that stuff from some false allegations that had gotten in the mix and complicated matters. It's way too long of a video, but I felt pretty good about it. I felt it was pretty even-handed, definitely critical of Lloyd, no question, but for the most part, the reaction was positive. And at the end of all of it, I said, well, I'm never going to talk about that kind of stuff again on the channel, unless, like, something crazy happened and Lloyd decided to pursue legal action. Disappointing to see a smart, promising activist throw in his hat with the sensationalist gutter activism brigade, and in so doing, detonate a ton of TNT under his personal pledge to never help in disseminating unverified information. Actually, you've indulged in a number of statements in this video that go beyond mere commentary and are factually inaccurate, so I'm afraid I've had to add you to the litigation. I hope one day you are able to snap out of this dark XJW side alley into which you've strayed to learn to focus your energies and obvious talents on the true bad guys. That was his comment under my video. I was a little surprised that Lloyd commented. Now, credit where credit is due, I'm afraid I've had to add you to the litigation. Fantastic phrase. Now me and my wife use it all the time. Like, oh, you forgot to scoop the cat box today. I'm afraid I've had to add you to the litigation. And this comment got ratioed to a devastating degree. There's not a single like on it, nor a single comment of support on it, probably because a big portion of my video, like at least half of it, is just dedicated to demonstrating that Lloyd has a history of saying really cringe-inducingly sanctimonious comments about how all of his haters and critics are just brainwashed. They're just succumbing to their JW indoctrination. They've gone down a dark side alley, and they are, in fact, engaging in not just something that's critical of him, but defamatory, slanderous. What's the word?
And libelous, I'm gonna say.
Thank you, Lloyd. Now, part of the reason I think he commented this is because he didn't actually watch my video. I have to think that if he actually watched the segments where I make fun of this exact kind of comment, that he wouldn't have commented it. So, nobody tell him that we're doing this. But I have a challenge to Lloyd, because maybe he'll comment on this video. I don't know. He does have legal counsel now, so he might not. But if he does, here's what I want. Lloyd, if you're really watching this, I want you to include the word peanut butter in your comment. Just say the word peanut butter. It doesn't have to make any sense in context, just say it, and that way we'll know if you watch the video. And if you don't, and if you comment and it doesn't contain the word peanut butter in it, then we'll know that you're just commenting without even watching the video. Like a coward. But this is not a video about this kind of silly comment that he made on my YouTube video. I just brushed it off. I mean, I don't know what he means by I detonated a ton of TNT under my personal pledge to never help in disseminating unverified information. I don't know what that is or what that means, and I don't remember taking that pledge. The only pledge I take is to the goddamn flag of the American United States. Why couldn't I say that in a normal way? But, you know, in this comment, he accused me of engaging in defamatory and libelous, I'm gonna say, behavior, and I just kind of thought that was him flexing. Obviously, he's not gonna do something crazy like actually get me involved in some kind of litigation. Subject: warning letter! Dear Mr. Kreitz, we are contacting you as legal representatives of Mr. Lloyd Evans, and this following to the defamation campaign that you were, capital Y, participating in for the last over a month against Mr. Evans on social networks. Strong start, namely through your social networks channels on YouTube, AltWorldly, and Twitter, Jake Vaughn, on a daily basis. You presented, damn it, it's actually hard to say it the wrong way. You presented, transmitted, and made public a series of false, insulting, defamatory, and fabricated allegations about Mr. Evans, for which allegations you have absolutely no evidence. By the described behavior and public appearances, you have already caused and continue to cause significant damage to Mr. Evans personally, in the form of violations of his rights of personality, mental health, reputation, honor, dignity, name, privacy of personal and family life, as well as to his family and business. Hence, on behalf of Mr. Evans, we urge you to stop conducting this defamation campaign without delay, permanently remove all materials published so far on social networks, and publish a public apology through your channels on social networks to Mr. Evans and his family, acknowledging the unfoundedness of all allegations. All that within period no longer than 10 days from the receipt of this letter. Furthermore, having in mind the gross violation of rights of personality which have been caused by your actions both against Mr. Evans and members of his family, as well as the damage caused to his business, we hereby invite you to pay your $3,000 in damages to the account of our law office as follows. And there's no signature. So that's how my morning went. Thank you, doer. I'll always appreciate your decimal system. So I woke up to this in my inbox, and obviously my adrenaline starts pumping a little bit. Mostly my first reaction is genuine surprise. Lloyd has had his own run-ins with Watchtower's legal department in the past. He has a channel where he criticizes an institution and individuals for a living, and he has to know how difficult that is. I know he's had letters sent to him in the past, and it's a stressful thing. So, as has been seen in my video that I made, Lloyd likes to threaten legal action a lot. He likes to accuse people of being libelous, defamatory, and these are just, I thought, kind of like catchphrases. You know, Sheldon has bazinga, Lloyd has stop slandering me or I'll sue you. And, you know, it can be easy to laugh off the kind of wording that's in the letter, like, we urge you to take this stuff down. We request that you pay us some money. As somebody like myself who is of humble means, I have a wife and I have a full-time job, this kind of thing can be really intimidating and scary. You know, my wife sees this and says, wow, this is getting really serious. So you can see how this can really intimidate people. And the other thing I think when I see this is, this sounds really familiar.
This letter was sent to me digitally in an email from Watchtower's legal department. Watchtower demands that you provide written confirmation that all infringing content has been removed within 10 days of the date of this letter.
All that within period no longer than 10 days from the receipt of this letter.
If we are obligated to take this matter to court to stop the infringement, we will seek monetary damages and compensation to the fullest extent of the law.
We hereby invite you to pay your $3,000 in damages to the account of our law office.
Now, it's easy to shrug off that kind of language. But when you are a person of modest means, you know, living in the middle of nowhere with your wife and child, and don't have, you know, tens of thousands to spend on anything really, let alone hiring a lawyer, this sort of language can be very unnerving. And I know, you know, without wanting to speak for Deanna too much, I know this sort of thing affected her. This was like, oh, this is getting serious now.
Oh, that's why I said that earlier. So, the hypocrisy, right? That's the thing that struck me, and I really didn't want to make a video commenting on it. False. False. I'll call myself out on that. I absolutely immediately wanted to just jump on camera, get drunk, do a live stream, accuse Kim Silvio of sabotaging it, and yeah, I'll say it like sabotage too. I don't want to get too much into this. I feel no need to defend the video I made. I think it's obvious for anybody that watched it that I was pretty measured in my criticisms. I made some jokes at Lloyd's expense. I was absolutely critical of him, but when it came to disseminating information, I was very clear about what was true, what was not true, what was allegedly true, what was my opinion. I was very careful in my wording because I did know who I was dealing with, and I kind of suspected that he might pull something like this. Truth be told, I thought that I kind of had Lloyd-proofed my video. I really thought that because of the language I used, he wouldn't try and do something like this because he would realize how embarrassing it would be for him and how bad it would make him look. And why would he want to keep making me look awesome? What is he, this shirt I'm wearing? Because you probably noticed in the letter that was sent from his lawyer, the evidence that they have is none. There isn't any. They just accuse me super broadly of more or less being a big meanie. They accuse me of carrying out a defamation campaign. And, the only campaign I support is the one of the United States. I was going to do a callback, but I can't even remember the dumb, wrong way I said the thing earlier. How exactly am I defaming his character when all I'm doing is commenting on things that Lloyd has admitted to doing or is proven to have done via screenshots, right? Now, I didn't make anything public that wasn't public already. So what are they talking about? All I did was play clips of stuff he said and then was like, not a good look, Chief. I watched the video. That's basically what it is the whole time. Now, they are right that I presented false information. And this is a tricky bit of wording here because me and Lloyd have something in common, which is that basically the only thing we do on our channels is present false information. But we present it so that we can refute it, and we can yell at the car alarm going off out the window, damn it. See, I did talk about some false claims that had come up about Lloyd, but I said they were false, and I explained why. And yes, I explained why some people thought they were true, but I also explained why I think that that's silly, that they think they're true and that they shouldn't. One of the big criticisms that Kim Silvio made in her initial Reddit post, which kicked this whole thing off, was that Lloyd bullies and or silences his critics, and has caused people to quit activism because of this. And what does he do in response to criticisms about his behavior that he admitted to? He tries to bully or silence his critics. I am nothing if not a legal expert, having seen John Oliver's piece on slap suits and zero other examples. What little I do know is that people with some money can use lawsuits to shut up people with less money, because they know that the people with less money can't really afford the lawsuits. He wanted me to pay 3,000 sixpence or whatever fucking British people use. Lloyd did this because he knows I can't afford a lawsuit, and am I really going to pull the sympathy card? Yes, I do it at every opportunity. I recently had a major invasive surgery. I was in the hospital for over a month, and I'm just now starting to recover. I'm going to be paying these medical bills for years, and he knows that very well, and he knows I can't afford this shit. And that sucks, I've been kind of just making fun of the whole thing, but yeah, I'm just gonna be real with you. That fucking sucks, because I know that he knows that, and I know that he is doing this just to shut me up, just to get me to try and take my video down, even though people thought it was a pretty reasonable video. And Bo is playing with his ball toy, and it makes a loud sound. It's gonna pick up on mic, I'm sorry. Us XJWs, we enter the real world having probably very little education, very little savings. We might be in dire financial straits, like Lloyd was when he left the organization, and he writes about it in his book. Bums me out, because Lloyd knows exactly what he's doing, he knows the tactics that he's using, and he has decried these tactics on his channel when they're used against him. And that really made me, not that it matters to him or anybody, but it made me lose any kind of respect for him that I had. His work that he has done on his channel really did mean a lot to me. I said that in my original video, and I still think that a lot of the stuff he's done is really, really critical. And ironically, the thing that I think is one of the most important glimpses into Watchtower we've had in a decade is the hate speech documents that he received. Watchtower tried to get him kicked off of ICSA for hate speech, and they used a slap suit. They sent a document similar to the one he sent me, trying to get him kicked off the case. I think that stuff is really, really crucial, and still, I'm not going to even give a but. No, there's no but. It's just a really, really important glimpse into Watchtower's legal department, how it operates and how it's using to twist information to make its opponents look bad. And, you know, the fact that Lloyd is doing that now, I think is a little bit shitty. He removed the live stream from his channel. He removed his initial announcement that he was taking a break. He's removed all reference to it on his channel. So the majority of his viewers won't know that Lloyd is like this, that he is willing to use the tactics that Watchtower uses against him, against his critics, even though nobody comes close to having a platform as big as Lloyd. Lloyd has over 100,000 subscribers. I just hit 5,000 subscribers. You do the math, because I'm drunk. He has more money and power than all the rest of us little XJWs combined. And he knows that, and he wields it, and it sucks, and it's lame, and I just thought you should know that. I really sincerely don't plan on ever talking about this again, unless, like, he actually somehow extradites me to Croatia, like Croatian special forces helicopter into my house and drag me out, and they're like, we kindly asked you to pay 3,000 euros, and you didn't, so you're coming to the court, baby. You know, if that happens, yeah, maybe I'll make a little video about it. But in general, this is not a drama channel, sadly. I'm just gonna get back to doing what I'm doing. I was already back to doing what I'm doing, and now I'm gonna get back to being back at what I'm doing. And sorry, you know, I'm sure that nobody wants to hear any more about this whole thing. But I do think it's important that people know that this is the kind of thing that he's willing to do. Now, Lloyd, I do have one challenge to you. Lloyd is going to be back to doing Watchtower in Focus, or what's it called now? JW Watch. And he's going to talk about the Ukraine thing. And if Lloyd uses whatever super chats and ad revenue he gets from that video and donates it to a Ukrainian charity, then I will take down my video criticizing. So Lloyd, this is me inviting you to meet my demands. You know, the way your lawyers invited me to pay you $3,000. If you use the super chats and ad revenue from your stream that you're doing about Ukraine, and you use that money and donate it to a charity, and you know, provide proof that you actually donated the money, like I want to see the receipt. If you do that, then I will take down my video. I'll take down the video where I talk about the whole Lloyd Evans situation. I don't remember what it's called, otherwise I would just say it. You know, Putin is the kind of guy who uses, like, lawsuits and stuff to silence his critics, which I know we both hate that kind of person. So if you want to just call this whole thing a wash, let's just do that. And if not, that's fine. I just won't take the video down. And my video is demonetized. It doesn't make any money. This one probably will be, because I don't care anymore about good taste. After you sent me that letter, you know, I got to start a legal fund. And this is something that I never thought to do, because I was really influenced by Lloyd's videos. I know that he would hate the idea of using his money to start some kind of, like, legal fund.
Just to be clear, it has been suggested to me in the past that I have some kind of war chest available for situations of this nature, for legal protection. And I've always shied away from that idea, because I'd rather, if people want to donate money to my work, I'd rather use that money to make content, you know, to upgrade my equipment, to expand the bunker, to hire T-Board. I'd rather channel money in those directions rather than put it in a pot and essentially give it to lawyers, you know?
So that's kind of my logic.
So anyway, you know, peanut butter to everybody out there, and I just want to say thank you for everyone who has supported the channel and who has said a lot of nice things. I do have a Discord. If you want to join the Discord, I guess, I don't know. I'll put a link in the description, I think. Or follow me on Twitter. I don't remember how this all works. And do I have a Patreon? I don't even know. Who's gonna do Patreon? Who said that? Oh, my cat just took a dump in the box and it smells so bad.